let's talk about contracts. That word alone can sound kind of heavy, right? Like it's strictly for lawyers and corner offices. But what if I told you that getting a handle on commercial contracts is one of the most powerful business skills you can possibly have? Today, we're going to pull back the curtain and demystify the whole process. We'll turn that dry paperwork into a practical, powerful tool you can use to build your success.
This quote, man, it just gets right to the heart of it, doesn't it? In business, a handshake is great. It shows you're on the same page. But a signature? A signature makes it real. Until that ink is on the paper, a brilliant idea is just, well, an idea. The contract is what transforms a simple promise into a commitment that the law will actually back up. It's what everyone can rely on.
So, what is a contract at its absolute core? Well, the legal definition is surprisingly simple. It's got two key ingredients. First, you need an agreement. That's the part where everyone nods and says, yep, we're all on the same page. But the second part, enforceability, that's the magic ingredient. That's what gives it teeth. It means if someone flakes on their promise, the law can actually step in and have your back. So here's our game plan. We're going to follow the entire life story of a commercial contract, right from start to finish. We'll look at why we even need them, how to build a solid one, what to do with it once it's signed, and what happens when things don't go according to plan. All right, let's dive right in. Why can't we just get by with a good old-fashioned handshake? Well, in the world of business, things can get complicated fast. And in that world, clarity and security are everything. Contracts provide that essential structure. They're truly the backbone of pretty much every business relationship you'll ever have. And you might not even realize it, but you're making contracts all the time. When you buy your coffee in the morning, that's a simple contract. You agree to pay, they agree to give you coffee. The terms are just unspoken. Commercial contracts work on the exact same principle, just, with a few more details and usually much higher stakes. A really well-written contract is so much more than just legal protection. It's an incredible business tool. Think about it. It forces everyone to get crystal clear on every single detail right from the start. That avoids so many headaches down the road. It also acts like a vault for your confidential information. And by spelling out who does what, it just makes the whole operation run smoother. It's a win-win. Okay, let's move on to actually creating the thing. Now, this stage isn't about trying to win a fight or pull a fast one. It's about working together to build a really strong foundation for a partnership. A great contract is basically a blueprint for a successful project.
Good negotiation isn't just about haggling. It's a smart, structured process. It all starts with having a plan, knowing exactly what you need and what you can give. And look at number 6 here. Explore all aspects. This is so important. Don't get tunnel vision on just the price. Maybe there's wiggle room on the payment schedule or the delivery date. The ultimate goal always should be to find that win-win solution where everybody walks away feeling good about the deal.
Now, for any old agreement to become a real, legally binding contract, it needs a few essential ingredients. Most are pretty obvious, like you need at least 2 people or companies involved. But lawful consideration is a big one. It just means something of value has to be exchanged. It's the I'll give you this if you give me that part of the deal. And crucially, everybody involved has to intend for it to be a serious legal arrangement, not just some casual promise made over lunch. I like to think of these clauses as your contract's built-in safety features, like seatbelts and airbags. The confidentiality clause, that's what keeps your trade secret secret. A force majeure clause, that's your act of God protection. It shields you from things totally outside your control, like a hurricane or, a global pandemic. And the dispute resolution clause, that's your roadmap for what to do when you disagree, which can save you a ton of time and money by keeping you out of court. All right, the contract is signed, sealed, and delivered. Woohoo! But the work isn't over. In fact, you could say its real life is just getting started. A contract isn't something you just file away and forget about. This is a huge mindset shift for a lot of people. Contracts aren't static historical documents. They are living, breathing agreements that need your attention. That means you've got to actively track deadlines, you need to monitor performance, and you have to make sure that everybody is holding up their end of the bargain. This is what we call active contract management, and it's critical. So how do you actually manage them? Well, we've come a long way from the old days of dusty filing cabinets, which were, let's be honest, a recipe for human error. Now we have amazing electronic systems. These give you access from anywhere, and the best part? They have automated reminders for key dates, like when a contract is up for renewal, so nothing ever slips through the cracks. Okay, so what happens when things change mid-project? You ask for a little extra work that wasn't spelled out in the original deal. That's where this fancy-sounding legal principle, Quantum Meruit, comes into play. It literally translates to as much as one deserves. It's a way to make sure people get paid fairly for the work they actually did, even if it wasn't in the initial paperwork.
And now, we arrive at the most dramatic part of a contract's life. Because look, even with the best intentions in the world, sometimes promises get broken. This is where we need to talk about what a breach of contract really is.
It's the one question every business owner really hopes they never have to deal with. But being prepared is half the battle. So what exactly does it mean to breach a contract?
A breach is simply when one side fails to do what they promised to do and they don't have a legitimate legal excuse for it. It could be anything: failing to deliver goods on time, not making a payment, or even breaking that confidentiality clause we talked about.
Now, a breach of contract feels like a big deal. And it is, but it doesn't have to be the end of the world. The law actually provides a whole toolkit of remedies, all designed to fix the situation and ideally make the person who was wronged whole again. Here are the 3 main tools in that toolkit. By far the most common one is damages. That's basically just a court ordering the breaching party to pay cash to compensate for the loss. But sometimes money isn't enough. If the contract was for something totally unique, like a specific piece of property or a one-of-a-kind painting, a court might order specific performance, which forces the other side to actually go through with the deal. And in injunction, that's a court order telling someone to stop doing something that's causing harm. Whew, okay. We have covered a ton of ground today, so let's quickly recap the biggest takeaways from our journey. Number 1, always remember that contracts are the foundation of your business relationships. Number 2, a slow, careful creation process is your best insurance policy against future problems. 3, active management is what turns that static document into a powerful living tool. And finally, if things do go sideways, there's a clear legal toolkit out there to help you fix it. And that really brings us to one final thought I want to leave you with. The next time you're looking at an agreement, try not to see it as just a pile of paperwork you have to sign. See it for what it truly is: the blueprint, the framework, and the very foundation for a successful, secure, and hopefully a very profitable business relationship.